WNT9 Talk Radio.
Here we go, y'all.
WNT9 Talk Radio, and we are back with another segment. I'm your host, King Henry. Today we got on the line with us today a brother actually an author by the name of Zoser, aka Yo Bro Zo for those who are on social media. Brother, are you in the house with us?
Yes, indeed. How you doing, brother?
There he is. All right. So, as always, I'm scouting, and I'm online, and I'm in social media, and I come across your post, and I see that there's a book that you recently put out. The name of the book, let me pull it up right now, is Bicultural. What caught my attention is that it says living and leaving the world of illusion. That's a heavy hitter right there, just the title alone. So most definitely I have to ask you, what inspired you to put this book together, and what does it entail? What is it about? This illusion thing.
Yeah, I got you. Yes, and first off, let me say I appreciate you contacting me and letting me come on the show. First off, and just the title itself pretty much break down the beginning and end of the book, meaning that bicultural is basically me growing up as a quote unquote African American, and then being introduced to African spirituality and taking on that culture, and me being very realistic about me being American, but also me being equally know the importance of the African side as well, and pretty much I'm dwelling on both ends, and I'm realistic about that. You know what I mean? Like some people be like, "Oh, I'm 100% African," to put on dashikis, and then they speak in English and and all this kind of stuff, and then and they go on and have during the Memorial Day and July 4th. So it's a balance that I learned to live with. You know what I mean? And and in that, I lived that experience, especially grew up in like white suburban, when you learn out very quick, and I talk about this in the book, that you can never assimilate. You can assimilate if you want to white America, but then you can never be accepted. So I had to learn that the hard way. Right. And then after that, you know what I mean? Once you was traveling the world, learning from all these great teachers, experiencing things, spiritually, you become aware and awake, and then the illusion that you wanted to be so a part of just dissipates. And now you're in your own reality, which is the most natural, sovereign reality that there is, and that going in an internal journey, knowing thyself.
Wow. That's heavy, man. So you saying that you actually, there was some type of DNA explosion within yourself, and you decided to, but what will make you put it into a book though? And yeah, go ahead.
Well, I literally just sat down. It's funny because I have a BlackBerry Key 1 phone, not the newest one, but the one before BlackBerry. So it's got the keyboard on it, Right. And people are like, "You still got a BlackBerry?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, y'all don't even know this BlackBerry's still dope,
Right.
But anyway, so I literally would just sit in bed. I just write stuff, and it just kept on flowing. You know what I'm saying? And next thing I know, I look up and I got a book. I'm like, "Dang!" And after I got it, I was trying to self-publish it, and come to find out, a guy that I knew back in Richmond, where I grew up, he published like 10 books before. You know what I'm saying? So he said, and I was trying to get, advice on how to publish the book. And he's like, "Send it to me, and I'll read it, and I'll see if I like it." And he called me back like 4 hours later. "Yo, we got to put this book out." I'm like, "Dang, I just kind of did this just to, and you put out books and stuff like this. So, when he did that, that was like the that's when it started becoming real. You know what I mean? And then, then he put it out and published it, and like it's growing and growing, and it's touching people. So it's a very similar experience. So when you're a musician and you write lyrics, and people come up to you later on, and they talk to you about, your lyrics touch me, etc.
Right.
It's similar to that, but it's a little bit different.
Right. Now,
but these feelings are still growing on me.
No doubt. Now, have you, quite often, everybody's having these experiences when they are, they realize something is going on, within themselves. Have you had the opportunity to actually, sit down and talk to some people about it? I know in your book, I'm sure is very detailed, different experiences, but have you actually, had personal builds on it with people?
As far as like, having a DNA and RNA explosions, is that what you're referring to?
Well, so much as the content in your book, your experiences,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. See, and I tell people all the time, if you know me, then you're in this book, some by name and others just by experience,
Right.
So, the thing about growing up in like white suburbia is that you're exposed to a lot of stuff, you know what I mean? That, a lot of people, and if you straight in the hood, you might not even see,
Right.
A lot of, the good, the bad, and the ugly, So I was able to, since I had all these different experiences, the book is very diverse because of the experience I've had, because not only one type of people can relate to it. You feel me?
Right.
You got some people that can relate, like some white people that grew in suburbia that can relate to it because, they might have had, certain situations, or might have been in certain situations, or remember that situations, or it might affect them differently because they're white, obviously, but they still had that experience, and then that's a white side. And then on, the melanated side, you got people that, did things like when I, would go down to the land, Tamaray, and just, dealing with Dr. York and just building with all of that amazing stuff that I witnessed there, and even going on to, traveling on to, going to Haiti and starting to learn to be a, Haitian voodoo priest, and so on and so on. So, it's a wide spectrum, you know what I mean? That I experienced, and on the road, I can, I experienced that with everybody, that experienced that with me. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Very diverse, very diverse.
Well, yeah, I did notice, actually, I'm looking right at it in your, in the forward. It says the people of America within their various demographics have the social and constitutional ability to constantly change and welcome the difficult cultures and et cetera. I mean, that just alone, that your first sentence in the forward is acknowledging the different cultures and talking to people of America. And I think that itself is huge, because quite often we do have experiences, but we take out portions of those experiences and try to forget them, and when we do that, we never really learn from them. So
exactly,
I think that's powerful that you kept those things close, and you actually I call it having fun with it. Learning is a very powerful thing. So that's,
yes, indeed,
that's heavy, man. How many chapters is in this book?
I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's 11 or 12. Because I can't remember if that last chapter is the last chapter when I talk about my brother. It was like the very last chapter of the book. I can't remember. I think it's 11 to 12. I can't remember if I think it's 11 to 12. It's not that big of, it's not that long of a read. I kind of, in all honesty, like I kind of remembered how I received like one of my first scrolls from Dr. York back a long time ago. And I just remembered how it was just so much information in one book, you know, and I kind of, when I wrote it, I was kind of like wanted to get in and get out, you know what I mean? So that's why I think even going forward, when I start writing other books, I'm going to keep the same format.
I'm breezing through it, man. Right now, and these titles to these chapters are is making me want to start reading right now. I know we doing this interview, but I'm like, wow, okay, we doing it like that. The rebirth of Zoe. So let's just tap into a little bit of this. What exactly is the rebirth of Zoe?
Yeah, like you said, it's a lot of the titles are actually songs. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Like the Rebirth of Slick, so there's Rebirth of Zoe, and like Back in Black. That's actually an AC/DC song that Living Color covered, and London's Calling is a Clash song. So a lot of the titles, some of the titles actually, they're actually, musical songs. But Rebirth of Zoe is just me growing up in Maryland. I was born in Maryland. Like PG County, right next to DC, shout out to DMV.
Right.
So it's just really talking about that, how I grew up in a very diverse, upper, middle, maybe semi upper middle class neighborhood, and just had a whole bunch of different friends, and life was good, loving the 80s and watching MTV, and, it's just, that's what that specifically is about.
So, Brother Zoe, tell me, what is it like waking up, man? What is it like waking up?
It was, it's mixed, because it's truly liberating, but at the same time, I became very, very angry about all the lies I was told and the way I was treated, by other people. It's like your whole life, I talk about in the book, I told, because of the way that, I grew up, I went to high school in the 90s. So, and where I was, it was interracial dating and stuff like that. And just race was really taboo. All that stuff was, it was really just lopsided,
Right.
And you didn't have me, like I say in the book, you didn't have a lot of pics of Nubian goddesses. It was kind of like, I just got, if I got lucky at all, it was just some old lame brain white chicks that was, just curious, you know what I'm saying? So, in saying that, I just remember, like I talked about a book, I felt like I looked like the creature of the Black Lagoon. You know what I mean? Like, because I wasn't, so there was a lot of self-hate and a lot of self-esteem issues, because it was just nonstop. Everything is great and white. And you're the exact opposite of that. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And I talk about this story, like, when I was like in my early teens, like I was working at Chick-fil-A, and this white dude came up. He said, "Joe, come here." My name is Joe, Well, everybody called him back then, the nickname Joe.
Right.
So he said, "Come here." And he said, and he pointed his white cutting board, right? And he said to me, he said, "You see this cutting board right here?" I said, "Yeah," because it was white. He said, "That's the closest you'll ever be to being white." You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So, yeah, man. So, stuff like that, and I go into more detail in one of the, in the talk, into, I didn't, at that time, because it was just my environment, I didn't understand, like, what even being white was. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I'm just like, but I was just trying so hard to just assimilate and just be a part of, white suburban culture. And like I said, they don't. I've been told many times back then that we don't want nothing to do with you. Go back home, go back to Africa.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be.
Wow. Now, was this out in Virginia?
Yeah, it's right outside of Richmond, Virginia. Called it's a little town called Midlothian, Virginia. Yeah.
Yeah, man, rough territory out here, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but I also talk about the book, like when you talk about the demographic aspect, it's like those experiences I would never ever have in Atlanta, Georgia. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
I might have it outside, about 40 miles, up in Forsyth, and going down, about 40, 50 miles of Brunswick, like when the brother, like outside of Atlanta, Georgia, about an hour or so, I might get that. But in Atlanta, Georgia, you just don't have that type of experience because of demographics. You know what I mean? It's just different.
Well, let's just say it's a good thing you didn't run into it. and,
exactly.
I think pretty much it is everywhere, but in other places it's definitely is most definitely more noticeable.
Exactly.
There's a chapter here, chapter 10. You say it's titled "America, the Great Divide." Give me a little something on that. What would readers have to look forward to by that chapter?
Well, one thing I remember I read two very important books in my life that came before Columbus by Dr. Ivan Van Sertima and Let's Set the Record Straight by Dr. Malachi York. And in that, they go into detail about how, the Native Americans were Africans here, and how different races mix together to make different races like American Indians, how the original inhabitants of America were Black Africans, and they mixed in with other races like Chinese, or shouldn't say Asian, I'll just say Asian or Mongoloid races.
Right.
And their offspring would look like Mexicans or Native American Indians, and they kept some of the same cultures, throughout time. But I didn't know that. I was just told that, Columbus found America and, the Pilgrims, and all that kind of stuff. So I had to kind of touch base on, factual truths about ancient America or the original, before pre-colonial America. But I also talk about how it's shaping today, and as far as how there's a lot of racial tension, but in essence, America is ultimately becoming like London did back after World War II, after they opened the borders and let everybody come back in and rebuild London. Then you already have generations and generations of multiracial individuals that are coming together, and they have people in their family of all different races. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you have a small minority of people that just want America as a white a white country. You know what I mean? And I just talk about how possible is that realistically? You know what I mean? It's impossible. You know what I mean?
Right.
And not only that, the consciousness level of all people are rising as well. So a lot of the low vibrational thinking of racism and, xenophobia and all these different things, that's starting to slowly go away just because of, literally the day and time we're in.
Right. That's facts right there. Where would that tie into the Black Wall Street?
Oh, well, Black Wall Street, all of it kind of, once Black Wall Street and Behind the Nine Ball, they kind of go together. But specifically with Black Wall Street, it's all about how we were always told that we needed, we could do anything for ourselves. But the fact of the matter is, with facts, 100% proven facts, that we on Black Wall Street in America, we were completely self-sustained. We didn't need anybody from anybody. Churches, schools, everything, schools, churches, libraries, hospitals, you name it. Right. We did it all. And we didn't need any help. And we were doing that. We've been doing that since the beginning of human time. You know what I mean? Like, of us Black folks being on this planet, and running things for, millions of years, you know what I'm saying? Like, real talk.
No doubt. Now, let me ask you this. How do you find yourself able to, fulfill this author that's in you and still maintain being a musician and a vocalist? Because truthfully, right now, because everything's so opened up with social media, it's like you got to be in something 1,000 or it's not gonna move. So I think if you was just an author, it would take up like pretty much all of your time. So how do you juggle your time with being a musician, a vocalist as well as an author?
It's just like anything else. Like, if let's say, for example, if you had two jobs, if at night you drove a bus, and later on you were a cook, what I'm saying? You just prioritize and give that specific time to each project, and you just have to you have to be organized. In addition, just have good people with you that can assist you. You know what I mean? In doing that.
There it is right there. Good support system. Definitely.
That's it.
Well, I'm happy you have that, brother, because if things are going to go to the next level, you definitely have to have a healthy support system. And you said from the gate you had someone that you reached out to, and they told you, well, send the book and let's see if we like it or not. And the brother got right back with you and said, hey, we got to put this out now. So are you saying that there are more coming? Are there more books coming?
Oh yeah. It's yeah, definitely. I'm kind of on the fence right now. I'm thinking possibly, and through my experience, growing up, in Black culture, I just know how trifling our diet is. You know what I mean? And I mean, I'll tell you straight up, man. I remember my parents, being from the South, they used to feed us pig brains and eggs. You know what I mean? And scrapple. Yeah, man. So I think, man, I think about that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I just think about how, I mean, you still go in the store now, so, you see chitlins. I remember I went in the Kroger, during Christmas, man, they had so many of them daggone drawers full of chitlins, man. It was ridiculous. I was like, good gracious. I mean, cases and cases of chitlins, man.
Wow.
We still eat that stuff, and and we, we dying off, high blood pressure, diabetes, and we drinking sugar, and you know what I'm saying. It's
Well, I can tell you
so
this.
I know there's a lot of folks out there that that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead, bro.
No, I know there's a lot of people out there that's addressing the situation, but I think I'll kind of have a little different twist on it, just because of just the experience I had, dealing with it.
Well, yeah,
seeing both ends,
your different cultures, experiences definitely give you some individuality,
Exactly.
So I think that that's a powerful thing, to be able to have all of these different experiences, and whether they were good or bad, you still have them, and you have not allowed them just to be. You actually learn from them and share those experiences in your book, and so that's powerful, man. If we about to get out of here, but if there's anything that you could say, whether it's in the book or not, that could inspire the people, the listeners right now, what would it be?
Yeah, this book is actually a self-help book, because even through all the hate that was getting thrown towards me, all the different things that I've experienced, once I started traveling the world, everything opened up, because that mentality that was around, it seemed like it was kind of focused in Southern America. The more I ventured out, the less, like I tell people all the time, that when you know how it is in America, when you walk outside, it's like you have a big giant 600-pound gorilla sitting on your chest, right on your shoulders. You know what I mean?
Right.
When you're a black man,
right.
And or a black woman as well, or black child, teenager, whatever, or all the above, I should say. Excuse me. But once I started going to these different, traveling the world, that that monkey, that gorilla, would turn into like a small monkey, like you see at the circus, they're playing, when you play a little organ and stuff, So, in some places, the monkey ain't in there once you have people that look like you everywhere. Like I was just in Haiti this summer, and that's the closest I've ever been to being in Africa. You know what I mean? And it's like people don't realize that we get, because of our environment, and how we live, things are a lot different in other places compared to this place. This place is like prison compared to, like a walk-in prison compared to, like other places.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. And what's crazy about it is that the shackles is really based on not being mobile, not going anywhere, and having other experiences. So, and
that's on you. That's completely on you.
Right. So in reality, we keep ourselves, shackled, man. Yeah.
In bondage. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that, one of the things, in addition, one of the things is like what about Black Wall Street? It's like, now, see, we have these people that all these different races that have been doing and then had economical systems set up for centuries, and beyond that, and they teach the children and they just pass it on. It's like a lot of people now, because of the internet and just the way that so much information is there, us as Black folks, we just really get into that. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's one of the reasons why, in addition, I wrote about Black Wall Street and talked about the Behind the Nine Ball that Dr. York wrote, because in that it's a blueprint pretty much of being self-sustaining. And like I said in the book, any person of color in the diaspora needs to read that book called Behind the Nine Ball. You can find it online. It's like a PDF by Dr. York. But any person needs to read that.
Definitely. Yeah. That's a heavy hitter. Yeah. Most definitely.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Everybody. But what I like to say in addition is, like, even though I had all that hate thrown towards me, the more I elevated as a person and the more I realized, that we're all just one consciousness and we're all just, we're all is inside of all, instead of me going down the the path of hating as well, I learned, to, realize that that's a sickness that these people have. And there's good people in all races and, just good people all on this planet.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So I don't subscribe, just like Dr. York said, nobody wins the war on racism. And I agree with that 100%. You know what I mean? So that's one thing I kind of touch on the book as well. It's like not getting caught up in the hateration, but, start to love, man, start to love and be a part of it all. And, like Martin Luther King said, keep people by the contact of the character, not by the color of the skin. If we all did that, we'd be so much greater people, man. We'd be able to get along, and you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I think that is key, man, because most often I've met several so-called conscious people in the Black community. I love my culture. I love my tribe. I love my family. I love Black people in general. I am of that, of course. So, but I have experienced several mindsets, several individuals who believe that they are free, and because of their perspective of that freedom, they have a level of tunnel vision towards what the power of love it really is. There is a lesson that says that we are the mothers and fathers of civilization, and it's a repetitive statement by the Black community, but most often the Black community reminds me of, and this is just real. It's freedom, freedom of speech without injury or restraint. So let me just say this, that mindset reminds me of a father who is in denial of their child. And by that I mean, By that I mean is that we actually breed our own ignorance and never want to have relationships with anyone outside of our culture, or nationality. We don't accept the responsibility for being mothers and fathers of civilization.
I agree.
We talk it, but we don't actually do it. So.
Exactly.
I think your book will be powerful to get your hands on, man. And in that regards, is how do we get this book? How can anybody get this book?
Well, you can actually go to my website, yourbrozo.com, yourbrozo.com, and there's a link to the Amazon where you can get it there. But it's also available on Barnes and Noble as well, and it's being in some independent bookstores as well. But the main one people to buy is Barnes and Noble and Amazon. But there's an ebook, a Kindle ebook with it as well, and the audio book is up on a few platforms. But and give it about a week or two, it's going to be on Audible. So
beautiful.
It's on all platforms at this point.
Very powerful, man. Listen, man, don't hang up, bro, because I just need to just holler at you right quick about this musician thing, being a vocalist and all that right quick. So don't hang up. Hold on, man. And again, if anybody is looking for this book, which you should be looking for, because it is a very, very, very powerful topic that we discussed here today. actually a few topics. The chapters are very powerful, and I've been breezing throughout the interview for lack of time, independent time outside of the interview to read this book. I just got it though, and I am going to be heavy into it. So we want to bring you back on, man, because once I read this book, I'm sure I'm going to want to, say, hey, man, let's talk about this, right here, more in detail. But definitely, man, anybody interested in picking up this book, you say they can get it at yourbro.com, Amazon.
yourbro.com, Amazon, Barnes and Noble. If you just type in bicultural living and leaving the world of illusions, it'll come up.
My brother, we are here at WNT9 Radio talking to Brother Zoser, AKA social media, Yo Bro Zo. You know what I'm saying? So for those who don't know, now you know. Definitely reach out. Hold on, brother. Do not hang up. I appreciate you, man.
Okay. No problem.
WNT9 Talk Radio.
Here we go, y'all.
WNT9 Talk Radio.